Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Wilson. You watching MCTV, the podcast, coming at you live from MCTV studios in Des Moines, Iowa. And we got the one and only Ren Thomas with me.
What up, brother? What up, what up, what up?
What's happening? You know, the funny part is I just ran the intro song and I forgot you're on the intro song. It was one of the joints we did back in the day. So
Fire.
yeah.
Always
So
love, always love.
yeah. So that was pretty dope.
The Gingers are back together.
That's right. Man, it's good as fuck to have you on here, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Definitely, 100%, man. Anytime you want to talk, whether on the podcast or just in regular life, I'm always down. You're a good ass dude.
Ah, man, you always been dope as hell to me too. So I really appreciate it, bro. And the talent is insane, bro. Like it's been very fun to follow your career from when I first caught on.
Yeah.
You know, a handful of years ago to watch all the shit you've been accomplishing lately and shit. So
yeah, thank you. You know,
hell yeah,
keep pushing, trying to continue the dream. That's it, you know.
Amen.
Never thought I would make it this far. So you know.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just like the extras.
All right, so for the folks that don't know, let's take it back a little bit and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and let's start like before you won Team Backpack and you know what I mean. Let's kind of start at the beginning, like how you first got introduced to music and when you first picked up the pen, things like that.
Yeah. So Ren Thomas, I represent New Jersey, a place called Clark, which is like in the middle of fucking nowhere, suburbia, and first got introduced to music, I guess, through my brother. Like any kind of hip hop shit, my brother was like big into. Like he's 9 years older, so when I'm growing up, I'm taking tapes from him and listening to him on my like Sesame Street fucking Walkman, and it's like the Milk Crate by Milkbone. Shout out to Milkbone, he just dropped a crazy video today. I was supposed to be at the video. He's my boy, and like it's crazy that I grew up in a room with my brother with his poster on the wall, and now like that's a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like those are the kind of things that like blew my mind throughout my whole experience of making music and being an artist and shit like that. But so he had like that. He had like 4, 5, 6 by Cool G Rap. It was some boot camp flick shit I remember that had like a dog tag on it. I don't even remember the name of that album. Let me see what else. Obviously he had like the Biggies and the Pops and the regular shit, but then he had a bunch of Wu-Tang shit, especially like Only Built for Cuban Links, and it was the purple tape, and it was like, yo, this is fucking crazy. How they make this tape this color, you know what I mean? As a little kid, and I don't know, I just fell in love with it. I for some reason, it spoke to me differently. Like all the other music that I had been around up to that point, because I'm talking like I'm like 6, maybe 7, and anything besides that was like shit that my parents played in the car, which was like the Beach Boys, and my dad was like into Elvis and fucking Johnny Cash and shit, and my mom was into like doo-wop music. But what's weird is I remember being a kid and sitting in the car, and my parents would play these songs, and I would kind of like get to memorizing them, like Lil Deuce Coupe or something like that by Beach Boys. I would start making up my own words to the songs, even as like a very, very small child, and I would be like, I don't remember what the fuck I would say, but that's like around that time. I grew up a couple of houses away from a guy who's a really good childhood friend of mine. I always called him my cousin. He was a couple of years older than me. And him, this kid around the corner, and this other kid that they went to school with, they started a rap group. And I remember being like, yo, I'm going to be their DJ. Because I'm like, I don't even know. They were probably in 7th grade. So I must have been in about 4th grade. So I'm like, Mom, Dad, like, we by no means grew up with much money or anything, but my pops was like, yo, I was like, I want a set of turntables. And by this time I'm already like engulfed in hip hop, like listening to it, but like I had never like wrote anything or like created anything. So what ends up happening is my dad buys me like the shittiest set of like, they're not turntables, they're like CD mixers.
Okay.
And this is like right when CDs came out, so like nobody was really even like, you didn't have like access to a ton of CDs. So like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna DJ for you guys, and they're like, yo, those aren't fucking turntables. Like, how are you gonna even fucking DJ? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. So anyway, my dreams of DJing went down the tube very quickly. Although later on, to make some extra cash, I did used to like bring that setup to like 8th grade parties and shit, and DJ the parties, and cats would throw me a couple $100 or whatever. So whatever. Shout out to my dad for buying me the fucking
hell yeah, props to pops.
Newmark bullshit. But so after that, my cousin and his friends, they had these like couple of songs they were making and shit, and then so my cousin had this little setup in his basement, and it was like a mic, and back then he had like 2 tape decks that he would like run. One would run the beat, and the other one he would run the vocals on, and then he would take those 2 and combine them together, and it sounded like garbage. It was terrible. But one day I'm like, yo, I'm gonna write a rap, and I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna blow them away, and then they're gonna be like, you're in the group too. So I was like, all right, cool. So like I go to my cousins with this rap written, and when I get there, I bring my boy Brad. Shout out to my boy Brad. That's still like my brother to this day. I bring him over there, right down the street. I go in there and I'm like, yo, I wrote a rap, and my cousin's like, bro, we ain't even doing that shit no more. Like, what do you think? We were like really gonna be rappers? And I'm like, all right. He's like, I'm gonna go work on a jump shot. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, can I record down here? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I had my other boy like take it was Fat Joe, Live My Lifestyle instrumental, and I did my first verse that I ever did over that.
And then, how old were you? Is that still in like 4th grade?
I want to say I was in like 5th grade by this time.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, probably 5th grade, because 6th grade. Yeah, so I do that little bullshit, and then I'm like, yo, I'm gonna actually do this. And around that time is when everybody started getting like computers in their house, right? We had like AOL dial-up, and I remember it was like a huge deal that we had one computer that we like kept in the fucking kitchen.
Yep.
And eventually, my parents moved it into like this. It used to be my brother's bedroom, and then he moved out. So they had like this room in there, and they kept the computer in there, and I guess it was like the computer room. So I would go in there, and the computer had this little ass mic. You know what I mean? It was like about this fucking big, like a lollipop type mic. And I guess Napster had came out, because this might have been like 7th grade now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm literally recording on a headphone with the other headphone playing the music into the mic, and me rapping over a bunch of shit I stole off Napster.
Yeah.
And this is like way before LimeWire or any of that other shit. It was only Napster, and you could only get like weird instrumentals like 10 Crack Commandments and like other stuff that was like actually on like B-sides and shit. And I put together this little project, and I called it the Renegade of Rap. Right, and the reason why I chose that name, so my name used to be Renegade, right? And I chose it because I was a huge wrestling fan as a kid, and the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite wrestler. But like, I wasn't gonna call myself the Ultimate Warrior. But this dude came into WCW, and if there's any wrestling fans out there, they'll remember. There was a dude they were trying to make look like the Ultimate Warrior, and his name was Renegade. And he actually like became like the TV champion or whatever the fuck they would call it. And so I based my name around him, and I put out this project called The Renegade of Rap, and it had really shitty artwork on it. And I sold a few at school, and the rest like I kind of passed out. And it was just like kind of like a joke kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like everybody. So I went to high school in a predominantly white suburb, and everybody there was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And there was a couple of cats along the way who like will still pop up in my life from time to time that were like, yo, I always knew from that first CD that I ever heard. I'm like, dude, that shit was so bad. Like, looking back on it, you know what I mean? And so from that point, right, I put out that like little first project, and then it just turned into like getting high with my friends, freestyling. You know what I mean? And
so that's what I was gonna ask. Were people like freestyling in the lunchroom or like outside before school?
It wasn't like that in the school that I went to, but
okay.
When I was in 9th grade, so like I'm still talking like before high school. So like by the time I get into high school, I went to a vocational school full time, like all day. They like had started this new program in Jersey. So I went to this school, and everybody from there was from different places in Union County, which is like the county that I grew up in. But like Clark is like this small little suburb, and then it's surrounded by a bunch of cities. So like me, I'm like, yo, I'm nice as hell. And then I'm going, then these lunchroom battles are happening and shit. And like, I'm like getting in the battles and I'm like winning some, losing some, right? Like, so like professionally, I've never lost a battle. But like in these were like some of my first battles. And I remember like losing and going home and being like, damn, like I got to figure it all out. Like the world was over at that point, you know?
Yeah. No, man. I mean, that's where you sharpen your steel, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go through those trials and tribulations and shit.
Yeah, for sure. So then from that point, I got kicked out of that school, and I had to go back to my where I would regularly go to school in my town. And when I went back there, I was like, yo, like now I've like been around a bunch of people that actually like want to be rappers as well. You know what I mean? So when I went back there, I think I put out another little project. And what ended up happening was, I remember walking through the lunchroom one day, and this dude came up to me, and he was like, "Yo, my brother raps, and he wants to battle you." And I was like, "Cool." And then this other dude was like, "Yo, you know his brother's like 20 something," and I'm like, "I don't give a fuck." So like, I remember like pulling up to the dude's house, or like walking there probably, or riding my bike. And when I got there, the dude like pistol whipped somebody.
What?
And it was crazy. It was crazy. This dude was out of his mind. But from that point on, I was like, yo, this dude is fucking like actually has a bunch of legitimacy behind him as well too.
Yeah.
So I was like, and he's like an older dude. He was like putting me on to like atmosphere and like. Anyway, we ended up not battling. We ended up like collaborating, and we started a group, right? And then me and him ran together for like a year or two, and like I still at that point had never done a show. And I remember there was a place called the Teen Center, and they were throwing like a rock concert. And these dudes I knew that were in a band were like, "Yo, come up and fucking rock to one of our songs." I was like, "All right, bet." And I got so fucking drunk, you know, high school shit. And I showed up and I just blanked on stage. And
that's the worst.
That was my first time being on stage. And then I was like, all right, I'm not gonna rap anymore. And then you know over time like just house parties and shit like that, like trying to bag chicks, like being like, yo, I'm gonna just grab all the attention from the room, you know what I mean? Because like I'm like not the greatest looking guy, and I'm fucking, you know, like chubby and shit, and like lack of self-esteem, but I knew I could rap my ass off. So like, you know, then through parties and shit like that, and then I started going to, I think I was 16 because I didn't drive yet, and this dude I knew was in college, and at this point I had like taken a bunch of equipment that I came across along the way, and I built my own studio in my crib. So I used to have all the local dudes that rapped would come to my crib to record. So then I started meeting different people, different producers, all this shit, you know? Well, lack of producers. There really wasn't that many that came around. There would be dudes, but their beats were terrible.
And so what year is this?
This is like, I'm like 16, so I was born in 88, so that puts us at 2004.
Okay.
So, yeah, so then I started doing like a lot of battling, or like battle writing. And this dude that I knew that was going to college at the time, he was like, yo, Montclair State is hosting a battle. You should come get in it. I'm getting in it. And I was like, all right, cool. So we went out there. This is like a kind of a crazy story. So my one boy was like a year older than me. He drove me down there. And we go to like a frat house first, and we're drinking and we're having a good time and shit. And then we go to this battle at like this auditorium on the campus. And it's like hella people in this battle. And I end up in the first round like trashing some dude. The second round I have to battle my boy who told me to do it. I crush him, and then I go on to win the whole shit. And they paid me $1,000, and I came home, and I remember my mom. This like broke my heart, but made me like kind of like happy at the same time. My mom, like they knew what I was doing. My parents were like, they were behind me, but they were also like, yo, when are you gonna like fucking, you know, figure out what you really want to do? And I came home and I was like, I won $1,000. And my mom was like, how? And I was like, oh, I won the whole battle competition. And she was like, oh, that's weird. You know, it's crazy. Like, that's awesome that you won that, but I thought like you would go out there and find out like that you weren't as good as you thought you were, and maybe like try to figure out what you're gonna do next in life. She was like, but I'm proud of you. And I was like, It's a fucking sideways compliment, you know, fuck you,
Right.
but all right, thanks. Uh, but yeah, it like showed me like that I was as good, at least locally, you know what I mean? So from that point on, then I was like battling and kind of, I still really wasn't doing shows like that. There wasn't really like a scene in Jersey to, and then,
Were you kind of starting to get a name in the neighborhood though? Like people were like, "Oh,
yeah,
this dude's kind of this
I
dude's
mean,
cold."
it's weird because like the hip hop scene wasn't, it was starting to go onto the internet at that time. You know what I mean? This is and this is also like the era of like 8 Mile had came out and like I guess when I was in high school, Grind Time had started and we had seen shit like that like on World Star.
Okay, yeah. Grind Time had a tough run for a long time, man. That shit was
Yeah,
fire.
it was crazy. So at that time, I'm like watching that from afar. I'm like, oh, I could do this battle shit. And what ends up happening is I go to this bar that I had been going to since I was like 15. And I go in, and there's some dude on stage wearing flip flops, right? DJing. I just noticed it when I walked in. So this guy comes over to me and my boys were sitting at a table, and he's like, yo, you want to buy a CD? I'm like, oh, I know this whole fucking thing. You know, I do it myself. So I'm like, nah. I'm like, it's your shit? And he's like, no, the dude on stage, he's a rapper. I'm like, fucking dude in the flip flops? Right? He's like, yeah. No, he's actually really dope. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, tell him if he battles me up and beats me, I'll battle him right now on stage in front of everybody. If he beats me, I'll buy every CD he has. So I was kind of an asshole too when I was young. So I mean, sometimes I am now too. But
You gotta be a little braggadocious.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of part of the game. So then he's like, nah, he's not that kind of rapper. And I'm like, whatever. So yeah, I didn't skip anything. So and through that time, like the other dudes, like the dude that pistol whipped the guy, and like all these people, it kind of like phased in and out of life. Like a lot of them stopped rapping, or like, you know, they were older dudes. You know what I mean? A lot of those dudes that used to come to the crib, like I don't think any of them actually still make music. But like at the time, that we were all like gung ho about this shit. So they like had kids or like got real jobs. You know what I mean? And like just or moved away. So yeah, so I'm at this bar, and I must have been like 17, 18, 19, something in that area. And yeah, I had graduated high school, so I must have been like 18 or 19. So I'm still doing my thing, and I that night this dude I tell him I'll battle him, I'll buy all the CDs, and he's like, nah, you don't battle. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden he plays Heavenly Divine by Jedi Mind Tricks.
Oh, snap.
And I'm like, who the fuck knows this song? Like, you know what I mean? Like we're in like a bar where you would hear like, you know, rock music or like top music, you know, top 10, top 80,
Top 40
50,
type shit. Yeah.
top 40.
Yeah.
So like, you know what? I'm actually pretty fucking drunk. I'm gonna just go fucking run up on this dude. So I go up there and I'm like, yo, fuck you know about this shit? And I'm like, yo, your boy told you I want to battle you? And he was like, yeah, I don't do that, but I got 2 mics if you want me to put on some instrumentals. And I was like, he was like, but you better not say nothing about me. Like, I'm not trying to battle. I don't do that kind of shit. Let me hear if you're nice enough. So me and this dude start going back and forth on stage in front, like together, and people in the place thought we were like a group.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so remember we go outside and I kick a couple more rhymes for him and his boys, and he's like, yo, let me play you some beats. And that had been like a whole hurdle at that time. All the projects I was putting out were just me mixtape records over other people's beats. And I don't know if you guys had it out there, but it was called Sycamore.
I don't think so.
This dude would put out these beat tapes with like 100 instrumentals on them. It was Sycamore, and he would either recreate beats that were like done by other rappers, or like I guess some of them were maybe his.
Oh, that's hard.
I just used to take them and like turn 20 of the records into an album.
Yeah.
So That was what we were passing out at the time, or trying to sell and shit. And so this dude played me these beats, and they were fucking so different, so crazy. And I was like, bro, like, let me rap over some of these beats. This dude's like, yo, I'm not really rapping anymore, to be honest. He's like, I used to. I was in a group and shit, but like, I'll produce a project for you. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, cool. So he comes to my crib, and we work on one song. So I do this one record, and we finish it. And then I'm like, all right, cool. I pick the next beat, and he's like, oh, I have a verse to this one. And I'm like, oh, for real? All right, why don't you jump on just this one? He's like, all right, cool. Next one he puts on, he's like, oh, I got a hook and a verse to this one. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like, I guess you'll be on 2 of the records. So we get like 10 tracks in, and he's on 9 of them. And I'm like, bro, you sure you don't want to rap no more? And he was like, bro, to be honest with you, you're making me like want to do it again. And I'm like, all right, cool. So like, me and him formed a group called Dead Poets Society, and we put out a mixtape, and it was crazy. So it was the MySpace era, and it started getting a lot of love on there. But then locally, people were like talking about us, and there was this one record store. I forget what the fuck the name of it was. It burned down eventually, but these dudes were like, yo, your CD, we can't keep them in the store. So we would give them like 10. You know what I mean? They would pay us up front, be like, here's $100 for 10, and then we'll let you know if they all sell.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, cool. And they'd be like, yo, we need another 10. And then they were like, yo, just give us 20 this time because they're just going. And we were like,
dope.
holy shit. So then this record store actually was like, yo, we're going to throw a show here and have you guys come perform because all the people that come here are like big fans of you guys now. So like that's where like I have a homie that just opened a restaurant kind of locally that's like popping off. It's like top 20 in New Jersey now. And that's how I met him. I met him back then, him coming to that show and being like, yo, this verse, I love these couple bars. And I was like, and he was at my wedding. Like, that's my man and shit. So, like, shout out Nick Rosa, shout out Black Sheep. Like, that's the owner in the place in Garwood, New Jersey. So,
yeah.
So from that point, me and him ended up getting a deal off of that first mixtape that we made together. And we got signed to this label called The Deer Records. And at that point, we were like, yo, this is crazy. They were talking about trying to get like Talib Kweli on the first single. And we were working out in Mount Vernon, New York. It was the same studio that like Heavy D and them used to record in. And this dude was part of like that crew.
Oh, damn.
He was like one of the side producers that was helping do the remixes and shit. So anyway, we signed with them. They wanted us to remake the whole project. So the dude, like, they were like, yo, we love what you're doing, but we can't use this sample. We're never going to be able to clear that. So we're going to bring somebody in to play it. And then we don't really like this verse. And like this hook we think should be like different. You know what I mean? They were like trying to kind of mold the project. And I'm like, I was cool with it. I was just like so excited to like have that opportunity, like being like, 19 or 20 and them giving us like $5,000.
Yeah.
But the other dude in the group, he was like, nah, fuck that. This is like my shit and I'm not changing it. So we ended up getting shelved during that deal. So during that time, me and this dude, his name is Tab, by the way. Tab in Stereo. And he's still making music. He's fucking phenomenal. Like, we just had some differences musically and whatever shit. But he's actually on I've Been Nice.
Oh, okay.
And he produced a bunch of the joints on there. He's on that song Lift It Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's him. So me and him were, from that point, like for 10 years, we're still making music together. He was just like, he was always into like different shit too, like rock shit. And like, he was a real musician. So let me see. Oh yeah, so we ended up getting shelved. I remember this. We did a song with Pace One for this dude, DJ Absurd's. This is crazy. So DJ Absurd is a DJ from New Brunswick, New Jersey, right? And he put together this tape, and one of the singles on it was me and Tab and Pace One. So that project comes out, and he was like, yo, I want you to go, we're going to go up to this radio station in Union City, New Jersey, and we're going to promote it.
Now, real quick for the
Yeah, go
folks
ahead.
that don't know, just to back them up on hip hop history, Pace One was part of the Outsiders, who was with Young Z, Raw Digga. You know what I mean? Like notorious,
Eminem,
yeah, Eminem, yeah, notorious New
Bizarre,
Jersey
yeah,
clique, yeah.
yeah. There's a bunch of other dudes in there. Like they were phenomenal. But like Pace at that time, he had just come off an album with Mr. Green. It was called "The Only Number That Matters Is One." And
Oh yeah.
there was two of them, and then there was another one called "The Only Color That Matters Is Green." I'm not sure which came first, but whatever. So we do that, and they ask us to go up to this radio station called Real Deal Radio. And these guys were like way ahead of their time. They had this radio show that was like almost like a podcast, but nobody had podcasts yet. They live streamed everything, and they would bring you in, and you would play games, and then like they'd make you smoke a 6-foot bong, and like it was crazy. They did all these like crazy kooky things that nobody was doing at that time. So we go up there
On some Howard Stern type of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So we go up there and we promote the record, and we do like a cipher at the end or whatever. So when I'm leaving, the dude Paulie Hustle, he was like the guy who ran that radio station. He's like, "Yo, you ever battle rap?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, yeah, I've battled people before. And he's like, "Yo, you have like that presence. Like you need to battle." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I've won competitions. Like I had like battled people for years at parties, and like that became my name around Jersey that I was like a battle rapper or whatever." So he's like, "Yo, I shoot all the footage for Grind Time on the East Coast." Yeah, so I was like, "All right, cool. Like, nah, I'm I got a record deal. I'm not trying to battle. You know what I mean?" Because my thing was always like, I'm gonna battle to get recognition to get a record deal. So it felt like it was in reverse. But at the time, we were shelved. Like basically, they didn't know what to do with us. They didn't want to put the record out as it was. My partner didn't want to change a lot of the shit. So like.
And you guys were still locked into that deal because like they had paid you, right? Or
yeah. So we were locked into that for forget how many years it was. We ended up releasing that album.
Oh no.
As it was, and but at that time it was like a weird period because let me get to that. So
okay, yeah.
So this dude, I'm at a gun range and I'm shooting this gun, and my phone starts going off, right? And I put the shit down and I take the headphones off, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, it's Paulie Hustle." And I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And he's like, "Yo, I'm shooting for this league that's like an under league of Grind Time. It's called When Animals Attack. It's a Jersey league." And he's like, "And this dude got locked up, and they need somebody to stand in for him tomorrow." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." So I go to this battle, and when I get there, Pumpkinhead and Poison Pen and all these people are there.
Notorious.
They kind of know who I am because at the same time I was trying to go up to this thing called EO Dub. I don't know, you know what that is? End of the week. It's like it has chapters all over the world, and it's where like Iron Solomon comes from. That's where Immortal Technique comes from. That's where Diabolic had won that shit. Like so many other like Nems. Nems is I met him there. You know what I mean? So like, what ends up happening is I go do this battle, all freestyle off the head, and smoke this dude. And that day, Poison Pen was like, "Yo, you got to come to Grind Time." And I was like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna try to go down this road." Now at the same time, I'm like still doing music and shit because the battling back then didn't pay anything. So I was still trying to figure out a solo project to get around the fact that we were being shelved by this label. So I put together this, what the fuck was the name of that project? The Decline of Western Civilization. And while I'm doing that album, I also go do EO Dub and get picked as like a guy to be in the competition that they do. And I ended up winning it for America. And then, so I won the whole shit. And then after that, I went to England. And I came in third in the world.
Oh,
and
damn.
It's like a half freestyle competition, half written. It's crazy. You have to juggle like beats. So like they keep changing the tempo. You got to stay on beat and shit. And then like they bring out a box on stage. You got to pull shit out and rap about it, make up a story. So it's super fire. EOW, such a big part of my thing, because seeing that I could go other places besides like Jersey and a couple of places in New York and Connecticut. Like this took me all the way to Europe. You know what I mean? And yeah, we came back from that, and I'm trying to think of what I did after that. Because
Did they just fly you out to Europe by yourself, or did you
I
bring
brought
anybody?
I brought my boy Chris Reg and his girl and my boy Billy Snubs.
Okay.
They had to pay their own way, but they were like, "Yo, fuck it," because so we were out there for a week, and they booked me a show every night.
Oh, that's dope.
And then one night was the competition. So the dudes I brought with me were both rappers too. So I brought them and they performed with me. We had like tracks together and shit where I let them do a solo.
You said essentially a tour.
Yeah, basically, like, I was like, yo, I'm going out there for a week. Like, you guys want to fucking come out there and we'll gain some new fans and shit, and like, be a whole thing.
Hell yeah.
So then after that, I come back, I start doing grind time more and more, and then my name kind of started to like go good, like get really well with that, and then grind time folded. And when grind time folded, I reached out to somebody. Was like, yo, reach out to, I don't know if it was him. I think it was Gully from King of the Dot. It was somebody who was part of their staff at the time. And I was like, yo, look, I'm undefeated in grind time. I'm 7-0 or whatever the fuck I was at the time. I'm like, I'd really like to come out there to your next event and battle. And they were like, oh, well, you could come out here and you could do like a tryout. And I was like, what? Like, you guys are just picking up all the scraps from grind time at the moment. At the moment, like, they didn't have any of the guys from grind time coming out there, because the only platform at the time was Smack. I don't even think URL was a thing yet, to be honest with you. And then,
okay.
So it was just grind time. So grind time collapsed because, like, I guess the inner workings, somebody was taking funds or something like that. I forget. It was like a YouTube documentary about it. I don't know if I finished it or not, but I did watch a little bit of it. So like, King of the Dot became huge because of grind time falling.
Sure.
I don't know if it would have became what it became without that. Whatever. So
they definitely filled that void though when grind time collapsed.
Yeah. So then I was like, yeah, it turned me off. They wanted me to like pay for my own travel. I wasn't gonna get paid for the battle, and like I would have had to find my own place to stay. I don't know.
You had to go all the way to Canada.
Yeah, I would have had to go all the way out to wherever the battle was, and like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know if that's really like what I'm trying to do. So then I started working with like now like my name was like real good in Jersey, so like I was able to kind of like work with basically anybody that was like on that underground level. So I started mixing in with a bunch of different crews and shit, and we had formed a group called Backpack Superheroes, which was like 12 of the dopest MCs I've ever heard in my life. And we just started running through shows. And that's what we did for a few years. And it was like the livest shit that I used to like. I don't know how I never got electrocuted. I used to just dump pictures of beer on my head while rapping and like with the mic and shit. Yo, it was just crazy. We would be like ripping fucking shirts off. Like it was like a punk rock show. People used to like mosh at the shows. And it was like the most diverse group of dudes you ever seen. Like some dudes were mad short, some dudes were mad tall. It was black dudes, Puerto Rican dudes, fucking, like white dudes, fucking one dude looked like Jesus. Like, yo, it was fucking crazy. We like looked like the craziest ragtag team of fucking misfits of all time. And bro, we had some of our fucking best nights, right? So we kept getting booked for shows because one of us always could find a show. And we were all from like different parts of Jersey. So we get booked down in South Jersey, and I'll never forget, we go there, and we're doing this show, and I see this dude on stage, and I hear him rap, and I'm like, yo, this dude is like the greatest MC that I've ever heard. And he got off stage, I go up to him, I'm like, yo, what's up, I'm Ren Thomas. And he was like, oh yeah, no, I heard of you. He's like, I'm Screw Tape. And I was like, oh shit, man. I was like, yo, we gotta work together one day. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So then I was putting together a song, and I reached out to him. He sent me a verse. I put out this project. He was on that. And then what ended up really changing everything was he reached out to me to get on this joint for his album, Scumbag Millionaire. We did the track together. Now I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it. But it's produced by Mr. Green. It's on Scumbag Millionaire. It's the only song I'm on there. But Screw had like every fucking dope rapper in the world. I think there's like 100 features on that project. And it's called Recognize with a W. And DJ Absurd's actually cutting on it.
Oh,
and,
dope.
So he puts this song out, and then he's like, yo, I'm going to throw an album release party. That's actually where I met Milk Bone for the first time, too. So I show up to this show that he's throwing in Philly. I had a fucking mohawk at the time. And I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, everybody that bought the album keeps saying that this is the joint on there that they fucking love. So at this point, Screw is like the golden goose in Philadelphia, right? He's from South Jersey, but like Philly was the scene. And everywhere we went, like dudes from Army of the Pharaohs, like all these dudes are always showing up. Like they're like, oh, what's up, Screw? Yo, I saw you on stage with Screw. You're fucking nice too. And I'd be like, oh, good luck, you know? So then Screw was like, yo, you're coming to like all these shows. You keep driving down to Philly. He was like, next time like we do a show, why don't you do one of your own joints? And then it was 2 of my own joints. And then we were like splitting the set. And then we were writing new records together and performing them. And then he was like, yo, I had this opportunity to sign with these dudes. And I was like, okay. And he was like, can you come down and like meet them too? And I was like, all right, cool. So I go down and I meet J.O. the Last Man for the first time. And he takes us out to dinner. And he basically pitched us what Sensi Star was going to be. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know, because like, you know, I'm still doing my thing with like this dude Tab. And like, I had a bunch of other things I was trying to do at the time. I was a part of like a group called Mash Music as well. And we were kind of buzzing like on World Star and shit. We had dropped a couple records. And he was basically like, yo, I don't want to sign either of you. I want to sign you together as a group. And we were like, okay, like, but we don't want like a group name or anything. And then that's when me and him made Ren Thomas and Screw Tape Don't Be Mad. And it was supposed to be an EP called Don't Be Mad, and then we were supposed to do a follow-up album called UPS is Higher. So we worked on Don't Be Mad, and then we went on tour. Right after that with Adlib, Burke the Jerk, Ghetto MC, and yeah, we went to Canada first. I remember that, and like meeting Mad Child and like all those guys, and getting down with like, all those dudes that were like a part of that Battle Axe Warrior collective shit. And yeah, it was crazy. Then we went on like a nationwide tour. And,
how old are you at this point?
25 or 26 maybe.
Okay.
Then everything moved super fast after that. So then we're on tour doing a California run of this I forget the name of Adlib's album at the time, but it was his tour. We were just the openers, you know, and whatever. It was like these guys ended up all being like some of my best friends. So like, dude, we had the best times on tour. So, but we're out there, we're doing our thing, and these other dudes from Cali came on the tour with us. This dude B3 the Shark and Doe the Unknown. And all they talked about the whole fucking time, it actually started to annoy me. They were like, team backpack, team backpack, team backpack. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like, the only thing I had ever seen, I saw Joel Ortiz rap on it.
Shout out Joel Ortiz.
Yeah. Shout out to Joel. One time Joel came to like a city by mine, and my man, like, he tried to aggressively make him battle me for $10,000 outside the parking lot. And he was like, I don't want to battle you. He was like, but let me hear you rap. And I spit for him, and he was like, yo, you're fucking fire. And I felt like he was going to give me his phone number. And some other dude came over and was like, yo, Joel. And he was like, all right, I'm in the car. And like bounced, and I was like, fucking man. But yeah, so I did meet Joel after that, and he was very, very cool. But so with the team backpack thing, these guys were like, yeah, they're having this big competition in Brooklyn. They were like, how far is Jersey from Brooklyn? And I'm like, well, the part of Jersey I live in is like 20 minutes, 45 minutes at max. So the hop, skip, and the jump, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, when you guys come out, you stay with me. You know what I mean? Then you don't got to get a hotel room. You guys are my boys. We've been on tour for fucking 3 months together. Whatever. So they agree, and they're like, all right, we're going to come out there. So, you know, I'm in contact with them throughout this time while we're not on tour. And I'm like, yo, what was that competition you were even talking about? And they were like, oh, it's like 10,000 MCs, and then everybody submits in, and then 600 people get picked. And then everybody goes there and raps. And they were like, here's the flyer. And they sent me the flyer, and it had like Ghostface on it and fucking, I think Joel Ortiz. It was like a crazy fucking lineup of people that, Sci-Hi the Prince, and just weird. Like, it was a crazy, I've never seen so many like celebrities on a flyer. And they were saying they were all performing. It wasn't like special invited guests. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, fuck it. I'm gonna hit them up. So I hit up Team Backpack's main page, and I'm like, yo, this is Ren Thomas. And they hit me back, and they're like, yeah, we know who you are. And I'm like, all right, cool. Can I submit for the competition? They were like, sure, send us a verse. So I spit a fucking old mixtape verse, and I send it to them, and they go, cool, you're in. And I'm like, all right, my boys told me they had to pay. How much you want? And they were like, nah, you're good. And I was like, all right, cool. So I showed up, and literally the day of, both of my boys call me that are out in Cali. Like, yo, we're not coming.
What?
So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm not going either. So I remember sitting in my car in the driveway, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like fucking driving all the way to Brooklyn. Like I said, it's like 45 minutes, but I'm like, I could do so many other things today. So I called J.O., right, the head of the Cincy Star. He like convinced me. He's like, bro, what the fuck else are you gonna do? Fucking sit around and drink beers all day? I'm like, yeah. He's like, go there and drink beers. I'm like, you know what? I like that idea. So I go to the fucking competition, and I get there, and the first person I see is Ilmac. So he comes up to me. He's like, yo, I fucking love your shit. And I'm like, yo, good luck. I fucking fuck with you too, whatever. So I'm just hanging out with him. And you know the producer Chase Moore?
I'm not familiar.
He's from Cali. He's fucking super dope. You know Fredo, the battle rapper, by any chance?
Yeah.
So Fredo and Chase Moore have a group together called Water Buffaloes.
Oh, okay.
And so he raps and he fucking produces. So anyway, moving on. I get to the event, and it was fucking nuts. They had like all these crazy sponsorships and like tents that you could get like free beer. It was like first time I'd seen like IPAs really. Because, like, I don't know, I knew, like, there was a brewery by my crib, kind of, but, like, nobody ever went there. But, like, this was, like, they were doing, like, micro brews or whatever at this place.
This sounds dope as fuck, bro.
It was, and all those rappers that were on the flyer showed up.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No, so what would happen was they would have, like, 8 people at a time, I guess, probably. So they'd be like, number 1 through 8, and they bring them up on stage, have them all kick to 16, get off the stage. And they'd be like, number 9 through 16. And then, you know, they would do like a bunch of them, probably, you know, 3 sets of that. And then they would have like some famous dude come out and do a set. And it was crazy.
That's pretty dope.
So then I'm getting fucking drunk, and people are like recognizing me, right? Because like, you know, this is like I won EO Dub and all this shit. So like, there's a lot of New York people there. So like, everybody kind of like knew who I was. And I'm seeing people, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I remember some dude started. There was a cipher everywhere you fucking looked. So like, I walk over to this one spot, and this dude's like, "Ren Thomas is here. I'll fucking shatter his jaw." And I was like, "Oh, word!" So now I'm fucking battling people outside. And dude, it was just so much fun. And then they're like, yo, what number are you? And I'm like, whatever, 600 or whatever the fuck I was. And they were like, you're supposed to be on stage now. I was like, fuck. So then I go up and I'm like, yo, I missed my spot. And they're like, all right, you can go on with the next group. It's all good. And I'm like, all right, cool. I end up going up with the next group. I do my shit, and the place goes crazy. I remember I didn't know the beat. So, like, they just play a random beat, and you got to rap to it. So I had, like, 10 verses ready, and they play this beat, and I was like, "Rest in peace, Sean Price," and the drum dropped, and I was like, I just went crazy, and yeah, I left out that whole part too, like me meeting Sean and shit. I can come back to that, but so at this point, yeah, I'm about to leave, and this dude's like, "Yo, I'm gonna see you tomorrow," and I was like, I didn't know who he was, and I was like, "All right, yeah, probably not." Because what they did was they had 600 people go in one day, and then the next day they were going to bring back 16.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, dude, they saw 600 people, they ain't gonna remember me. So this dude's like, "No, you have to come back tomorrow." And I'm like, "Am I in the like top 16 or whatever?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, cool." And people still to this day will be like, they did make an announcement the second day. They were like, "We took into account how well you rapped yesterday, but we also did make sure that you have an Instagram following."
Okay.
So some people got mad. They're like, "Yo, I was better than fucking everybody, but like I just didn't have my Instagram followers or Facebook or social media in general." So I was like, "All right, whatever." I didn't care. I was like, "They picked me. I don't. It's not my problem."
Bitch, I
won. So then that day, like, you know, we do the rest of the competition, and they pick a top three, and it's Marlon Craft, Mad Squabbles, and me. And then from that point, I don't remember if I did the toxic bar fight or television first. It must have been the toxic. It must have been the bar fight. Okay. It had to be, actually. So then I go back. Now, at this point, Team Backpack changed my life because all of those rappers now wanted to rap with me. And they were going to buy verses.
And that's elite company. Like, yeah, those are elite MCs.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. So I started doing that, and then they're like, "Hey, we want you to go against this dude Toxic." And I had been a fan of his. I had peeped his shit. And I was like, "He's dope." So, you know, with the bar fight shit, they're like, "There's no battling, you know, like it's like in the contract they send you."
Oh, okay.
I was like, "All right, cool." So they fly me out to Cali. I bring a bunch of my people with me. We go to the event. I think the event was 2 days. I don't really recall. We were getting fucked up because I was out there with Denzel Porter, and me and him go back way far. So like one of my best friends is his best friend, and like the dude who came with me to England.
Yeah.
Like best friends with Denzel Porter.
Oh shit.
So yeah, like they've known each other forever, and I think his wife is from Denzel's block and shit. Like it's crazy. So they're like, "Yo, we're gonna put you in a crib, right, with Denzel Porter and Mad Squabbles." And I'm like, "Perfect! Like those are my boys." Now Mad Squabbles was mad young at the time, but his dad was with us and he hung with us. So anyway, we end up. I do the Toxic shit, and then during Toxic's, I think it was his first round. I forget when he dissed me, but at some point he had dissed me, and I was like, I had that third round prepared, but I didn't say anything about him at the end. So like I do that whole third round, and then I do that off the top shit where I'm like, you know, you fucking look like you're wearing leggings and all that shit. That was all like on the cuff because he had dissed me and like called me fat in his third rounder. I forget what it was. So anyway, that explodes and goes like crazy viral, and then like around the same time, okay, so Sean Price. Let me go back just a little bit. Sean Price gets booked for a show in Jersey.
Legendary boot camp click, Sean Price.
Yes, Sean Price.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Hell yeah.
He gets booked in Jersey. My favorite rapper, right? It's a very, very toss up between Raekwon and Sean Price. So Sean is supposed to do this show in Jersey. I go to the show. I'm supposed to open too. So you know how opening works, right? So like I was gonna be right before him. I was like the opener. You know what I mean? So the gang task force unit shuts the show down before it even started.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So everybody knows that they're going to go to this other location. So we all go to the other location, and when we get there, they're like, yeah, but Sean's not coming.
Oh,
So we're like, damn. So anyway, I go sit down at the bar next to this dude, and as I'm sitting there getting a drink, the dude's like talking to me about football or some shit. Whatever was on the TV in front of him. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Now, do you know who Mr. Len is from Company Flow?
I've heard I'm familiar with Company Flow, but I couldn't tell you.
So Mr. Len was part of Company Flow.
Okay.
Producer, DJ. And so I knew him. He used to live in a town where there was a venue in Jersey, and he used to come to all the hip-hop shows. So he had known me for like mad years. It was always like, yo, I want to work with you, whatever. We ended up just not working, whatever. So I'm sitting at the bar next to this dude. I get up and I leave. The dude comes over, Mr. Len, comes down, and he comes over and he goes, yo, you met Ren. And the guy he's talking to is Lord Sear. I didn't know that I had just met Lord Sear.
Yeah.
So he goes, yo, that's Ren. He's fucking dope as shit. So he's like, oh, for real? You have his number? And he's like, yeah. So Len gives Sear my number, and the next day Sear calls me, and I send him a bunch of records. So now, during that time, I go and I do this show for EO Dub at South Street Seaport. And while I'm on stage performing, through the crowd, I see Sean Price.
What?
I get off the stage, and I'm like, yo, he's with people I know, too, so it made it super smooth. I come over, I'm like, yo, you are my favorite rapper. He's like, yo, look, you gave me goosebumps. And I was like, damn. And he was like, yo, I fuck with you. Let's get some work in. And I was like, yo, you gonna be around this weekend? Me and Lord Sear are doing some shit at Goblin Studios. We go to Goblin, and it's me, Sean Price, Lord Sear, Psycho Les. Keith Murray tried to come in, but they wouldn't let him in. Who else is there? What's dude from Queensbridge that's down with Noriega and them? God damn it! Why can't I? No. The dude who made Tragedy Gaddafi.
Oh yeah.
Tragedy Gaddafi. I'm trying to think of who else was there. It was like legend on top of legend, just kept walking through the door. It was crazy. So,
all just to record? I mean, everybody was coming to.
No, it was the kind of studio that everybody just went to at night.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm talking, we were there until the sun came out. Like, everybody was just like hanging, drinking, whatever. And then there's like a couple of studio rooms in there, so we would record. And then there's a bar in there too. And then they had pit bulls. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's still there, but so. Oh yeah, like Spit Gems was there. No, Spit Gems. Oh, nah. Spit Gems wasn't there, but I got into a little argument with Tash from the Alcoholics.
Oh shit!
Because Spit Gems and him had gotten into a fight the night before at a New York City show, and he said something, and I was like, "That's my man's," and he was like, "Oh, well, look." He kept telling me he wanted to arm wrestle me. And then he wouldn't arm wrestle me. Whatever. It's just funny because it's like a guy I grew up watching on MTV is trying to arm wrestle me at the moment,
Yeah.
So kind of always lived in this like I am actually Ryan like world where like the young me is just like freaking out at all times. So anyway, me and Sean do a couple of things, and then we ended up never releasing any of the joints we did because he died so quickly after that. And I had told his wife that any of those recordings she could take and use for his project. I don't know. You would have to ask the people involved in that what happened with those, but I don't really know.
Oh, okay, I was just going to ask, did any of them end up getting used?
I didn't recognize any of the verses because the album that was coming out, there's a joint that I speak on it, and I'm like, I was supposed to be on Imperious Rex. I forget what I say. I say something about solo banging on the pads like period sex, shout to Price. I was supposed to be on Imperious Rex, and then whatever. But yeah, we had talked about that, and like he played. So I'm probably one of the only people that has a thumb drive, and it has all like 150 songs that were recorded for that album.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I mean, I'll never let anybody have it. I can't.
Yeah.
And my boy has it too because he put it on his computer. So basically, Sean played us that whole album that night, and he was like, "Yo, I got a couple more joints to finish." He was like, I want to get you on something, and he was talking about, his rollout and all that shit. And then a couple of weeks later, around that time, Pumpkinhead had died. So when Pumpkinhead died, and that was my boy too, and like we were really good friends. And Sean was supposed to meet me at whatever club it was that they were doing the PH, like rest in peace party at. And when I got there, I saw like Tech and Steel. And I was like, yo, where's Sean? They were like, no, he ain't coming. And I was like, oh, all right. And he died that night.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then, so that was like but he had told, they're like rocking all these guys, like he had already like told them about me. And like, I became really close with all those dudes from boot camp, except for Buckshot. I met him like once or twice, but like, he wasn't like part of their everyday. They were always all still together. You know what I mean? And I still see Tech a lot, and I love all those guys and Rock. And
so now I gotta ask, at this point in your life, wouldn't you try and tap in with one of them and be like, bro, I'm on a couple of them tracks, he's on a couple of them tracks, like we could still release that record? Nah.
There was bad things going on between the place that, I don't want to say the place, but I heard, and this is only from like somebody else's mouth to someone else's ears to somebody telling me that had probably heard it from somebody else, but I had heard that the engineer wasn't giving up the verses.
Oh, okay.
Like he was like, nah, you got to give me more money or give me whatever.
He knew what he had.
Where I was like, those were my sessions.
Right.
But so you can just take them. And I figured that since he already knew all them dudes, I thought that they were just going to be like, yo, whatever we have from him, we'll help you do the album with. Which was what I don't know if it was Bernadette, but somebody had told me that that's what was happening. But then a while later, I was like, you guys ever use any of those joints? And she was like, oh, no. There was issues. And then through the grapevine, I had heard that they didn't want to give them, they wanted them to pay more money for those verses and shit. So like, and I wasn't trying to, like, I had like the coolest like couple month experience, like being friends with Sean Price. Like I never thought that was gonna happen. That like I didn't even want to like, I didn't care about the records after that. It was like the experience it was here. So like,
sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is stupid. I mean, I'm like the worst at like this is like a character flaw or something like that, but definitely in the music industry, I'm really bad at asking anyone for any kind of favor or anything like that. Like if I meet somebody and we end up doing a song organically, that's one thing. Or if it's like a business thing, then that's one thing. But I'm not like, oh, I met this dude, he told me I was dope, and he's friends with KRS-One, so like I'm gonna hit him and be like, hey, me and KRS should do a joint. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
My wife has always asked me stuff like that. She's like, you're friends with all these people. How come you don't have like a record with this person or a record with that person? I'm like, because I don't like to like force anything. If I had a song and I was like, hey, you know who really sounds good on this? I'm gonna reach out to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always tried to keep the projects in house as well, and I always wanted to put on the guys that were like not in the same situation I was. I wanted to bring everybody up with me, which was also like a fucking bad idea because most of them turned out to be fucking assholes. But
hey, we come up with a lot of assholes. I got a lot of buddies that turned out to be assholes.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, so after the Lord Sear stuff, also rest in peace to Lord Sear. He just passed away recently.
I was in Phoenix. I almost messaged you when they were doing it all on Shade 45 and talking about it and like bringing in everybody. I was like, holy shit, I got to text Ren. And I just felt like it was too early though.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, me and him, we had a slight falling out. But we were cool when he passed, like for about a year or so. And we kept trying to make plans to meet up, but I got two little kids, and like he's still like he was still like in that nightlife shit where it was like, yo, let's link up, but it's like 2 a.m. I'm fucking knocked out. You know what I mean? Or I'm like feeding a baby with a bottle, and he's like, "Yo, I'm fucking in Jersey right now," and I'd be like, "Bro, I can't like link up with you at the moment."
Yeah.
But I kept trying to like, I kept putting it off, and like, I hate when that fucking happens because it's happened mad times with people. You know, like I'm like, no, next week, you know, like I had a homie pass away a couple years ago, and I kept every time I would see him, we would be in the bar, and I'd be like, "Yo, we got to do a joint like ASAP," and then like, you know, just didn't come to fruition, and then they passed, and I'm like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah.
But you know, got to take it.
So okay, so the joint you guys did with Sensi Star, that was you, Lord Sear. We didn't really talk about that. So how does that all kind of come together? And like you kind of knew him from around the way, and that dude introduced you to him and whatnot, and he wanted to link back up with you. But how do you guys come to fruition to going like, hey, we're gonna do this whole project?
Yeah, so
And what
I
and was he
yeah,
already on the like doing big stuff on the radio and stuff at that point?
oh yeah. So like, if you don't know the history of Lord Sear at all,
I mean, I
uh,
kind of do,
I
but
could. So he was part of Stretch and Bobbito's show. So like he was, you know what Stretch and Bobbito is, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He used
So
to break a lot of records and shit, right?
yeah, so Stretch and Bobbito was like what Sway would be to our generation. Like
Yeah,
it was a college radio, but they broke Wu Tang, they broke Eminem, they broke fucking Jay-Z, they broke like everybody.
yeah,
So like I'm talking about like all the cats that became fucking everybody's top fucking 50. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like they had this radio station, and Sear was like, they would do like comedy calls, like prank calls and shit like that. Sear would do that, but Sear was also down with Curious George, and also Ayak. Shout out all my Ayak brothers, and all the low lifes, and like all the cats that wear polo. So like it comes from this thing called CM Mob, and uh, I'm not the person to talk to about that stuff. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
But they were like a crew, and then Sear was Eminem's DJ on tours.
Right, for
a
the
while. Like
anger
Sear,
management shit.
Yeah, Sear DJ'd Eminem's second wedding, and he would
That's
tell me
dope.
stories about it. Yeah. And he was just a character, man. He was just so fucking funny, and me and him became like good buddies, and we would like chop it up. It's about music and shit. And then I started going up to Shade 45 a lot and like just hanging out with him up there. And yeah,
And that's
yeah.
in
So,
that's in like New York, right? Shade
yeah,
45.
yeah. It's in the city. It's like in one of the fucking biggest buildings I've
Yeah.
ever been in. And there's a hallway to go to this one fucking studio in there. You feel like you're gonna fall off the side of a skyscraper. It's fucking terrifying. So, yeah. So Shade 45 is still there, and I would go visit Sear all the time, and we would just hang out, and we just became buddies. And he was like, "Yo, I want to like push your shit." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Yeah, no doubt." So I started doing the Drunk Mix freestyle. So every week he would do this show called the Drunk Mix on Friday nights, and he would open it up with a verse from me. And we started doing that. That was what we were doing at Goblin Studios when we met up with Sean Price.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm trying to piece together all these fucking crazy memories because there's so much involved. I'm also probably leaving out a fucking thousand things, but
You've lived a fucking phenomenal life, bro. I mean, musically,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean that's why, like, it's crazy because like people will be like, "Yo, like, why do you think you never made it?" You know, like they'll ask me like weird questions. You know, like I always call it weird things white people ask white rappers. Like they'll be like, you still making music?" You know, and like so they'll always be like, why do you think you never made it? I'm like, I don't know. I was on television. I had fucking songs played on the radio. I've been on television. I said that twice. I was thinking of videos on television and shit. And then I'm like, I don't know. I met every fucking basically 99% of the people I ever wanted to meet in my life. I met them, and like called 50% of them probably friends.
That's huge. I mean, that's epic.
I feel like I did make it. So
yeah.
the rest is just what it is.
And if you look at your bodies of work and shit too, I mean, you got a serious catalog.
Thank you. Yeah. So the way that me and Sear, we just started kicking around records and shit, and like he was like, "Oh, I really like these. I don't like these. I'm fucking with these." And then I was like, "Yo, I want to put the project out, and would you be down to like host it? And he was like, well, nobody would host an album, like a mixtape. And I'm like, yeah, true. I was like, but maybe you could talk on like one or two of the records, and then like we could put like presented by Lord Sear or something. He was like, yeah, I'm down. So then he came to the studio in Jersey, and he's like, yo, I got this beat. Listen to it. The night before, I had wrote "I've Been Nice," the actual song. I wrote it on the back of a pizza box. At the time, I was in $35,000 worth of debt from gambling. Right, I had bookies chasing me, so I had like 3 jobs delivering pizzas. So on the back of a Domino's box, I wrote the hook for "I've Been Nice" and like part of the verse, and I recorded it over this beat from this dude from Serbia. So it was fresh in my mind. So we're sitting in the studio. Sear plays the beat, and I start rapping that rap. I didn't have nothing else at the moment. And he's like, "Perfect. That fits perfect. Record it." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I do the record. He doesn't know that I have another version.
Where'd he get the beat from? He made it, or?
No. Listen. So I record it. We put some touching on it or whatever, and then he's like, "You fucking love it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Me too." He's like, "Hold on. Yo, listen to this." He plays it. You like it? Yeah? All right, we're going to use it. Is that cool? All right, here, talk to Ren. He puts me on the phone. I go, hello? He goes, hey, what's up? This is Pete Rock. And I go, oh, shit, what's up? And he's like, yeah, that's my beat. And I was like, oh, Sear didn't tell me. Cool. So that was basically how that happened.
That's fucking epic.
Yeah. And then, so Pete Rock cleared it for the promotional video, and to use his promo. But he wouldn't clear it without getting paid for the album. And we had no budget left. Like, since he started already blown a bunch of money on my project. So, because we had to get it mixed like 3 times. I don't remember what the problem was with that, but I remember, and we went crazy with like merch. Because we were killing it on the road with merch. And then we were like, we have this "I've Been Nice" saying, and we were putting it on beanies and hoodies and shot glasses and lighters and fucking everything. And we were just like, we're going to do that.
I think I got some of it around here somewhere. I got a gang. You can see all the shit I got going on back there. I think I got some from you when we were out in Jersey. But okay, so Pete Rock wanted money up front. It wasn't like he wanted money on the back end after it started doing units.
Yeah, no, he wanted like
whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, money is relative, and especially at that time and what we were making. And I was like, he's gonna let us use it in the video, then we'll just rock with that. That's why if you listen to the album, it's a different beat.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to it, it's got all these crazy horns in the video. But if you listen to the one that's on the album, it's like this weird Serbian beat that was made by some kid in Serbia. So, yeah, that's the story of that. And then
that's dope.
So Sear came to the studio in Jersey, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? It's a terrible idea.
This was the one in the barbershop?
No. This was a different studio.
Oh, okay.
I met you guys after this.
Okay.
So, I tell Sear, come on, I'm gonna come pick you up, and I'm gonna bring you from Harlem out to Jersey. We're gonna go to my the studio. It's not mine, it's my homie Haas's. Shout out Haas, Lighthouse, all that. So I go, pick him up, I bring him to the studio, and I invite every single person involved in the project. From the person who did the graphic design, to the dudes that were helping us with the clothing, to all the people from Cincy, to everybody that's featured on it. And I'm like, we're going to all listen to the album, and then we're just going to party, all right? So we're doing that. One of the homies shows up that knows us, knows Sear. Him and Sear bounce and go to this bar across the street from the studio. Everybody, we're all faded as fuck. And everybody's like, yo, let's go hit this bar, right? So I'm about to leave, and I'm like, oh, shit, my phone's dead. I got to get in touch with Sear. And they're like, he's with his homie that he grew up with. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they'll be good. I'll charge my phone when we get to the bar. I go to the bar, start having too much fun, and I totally He told me I stranded him in New Jersey. So when the album came out, it had no backing from him really, and that was why me and him had a short falling out. I apologized, took my accountability for my actions, all that shit, and then after that, me and him were good. Like a year or two later, we got real cool again, and you know, it sucks that things happen like that, but you know, I'm not up here to fucking sugarcoat shit or like not tell true stories, and you know,
I feel like that's
shit gets fucked up.
yeah. I feel like that's something I definitely could have done or probably did to several people.
I was just like, yo, you're with your boy. Like, I know him through you. So if you're leaving to go with him,
Y'all
like,
are good.
I'm not watching you. And then I gave him the bread plus some for like the Uber that he had to take back to Harlem. You know, whatever. I mean, I was being fucking stupid, and we were fucking partying from fucking like noon to this is like the nighttime sometimes. So, you know, whatever.
Yeah, those things happen.
So yeah, I put that project out, and it did really well. It didn't get the backing from Shade 45 that I wanted to, and that was like, I guess because of me and Sears, whatever that we kind of had going on or whatever. But it did get spins on a bunch of guys' shows over there, and but like there was originally like a different plan for the rollout. So like really, so during my bad. After the project came out is when I did Sway.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna get to next, because I was like, I know you've seen you up on Sway 40.
So
Sway in the morning.
if you hear when I do Sway, he talks about Lord Sears, the one who put him on to me. Okay. So yeah, obviously when the album came out, me and Sears were cool again. It was just like I was gonna go up and do Sears' show and drop one record at a time, and like we had kind of like a plan. And then like everything kind of like went to the side, to the waist end. So then I did Sway, and the craziest thing about Sway is that during this time, I was a maniac. They call me and they tell me, "Oh, you're gonna do Shade 45. Sway wants you on." So he doesn't reach out. He has like the girl who's like his secretary or whatever. They call me. They're like, Sway wants you to come up tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get ready. I'm ready to go. They call me and they're like, Sway's sick, so we're going to have to reschedule. So I'm like, that was my opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, now they're never going to fucking call again. So they call me like maybe a month later. They're like, can you do tomorrow? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll be there. I'm with all my boys in the studio when I get that call. And I'm like, let's fucking celebrate. I'm going on Shade tomorrow, you know what I mean? So I'm doing Sway. We stay up till like 5 in the morning.
Oh, no.
No, so my boy comes and picks me up. I'm like, yo, I need you to drive me tomorrow. He's like, I gotta bring one person. It's gonna be you. My boy Haas comes and picks me up. I'm like, you have to find an open liquor store. So we from Jersey to Manhattan, like I told you, Jersey to Brooklyn, Jersey to Manhattan, about the same, 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Drink a fifth of Henny on the way there. And I get there and I'm sitting in the waiting room and I meet Sway for the first time. I'm like, you want some? He's like, are you drinking? It's like 8 in the morning. He's like, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, just getting ready. And he's like, you better be good. And I was like, fuck. So, and I ended up doing really well. And then, so the combination of winning Team Backpack, that verse going viral with Toxic, and then Sway, I was able to start touring on my own and booking my own dates. Now, when I did Team Backpack, there was a guy. His name is E Money. He was on a bunch of ciphers with Team Backpack. He was also a contestant on some reality show too, but like some love show. But he was a rapper from Cali, but he was also a showrunner for MTV.
Okay.
So he sees me do Team Backpack, looks me up, and then puts together like an EPK, like an electronic press kit for me.
Yeah.
And he submits. He did this with like 20 or 25 different rappers that were part of Team Backpack, and he submitted that to MTV for this new show that they were gonna do. So I say MTV. The show ended up being on VH1, but Viacom owns the both.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get an email. MTV wants you to be on this TV show. I like fucking slam my computer shut. It's like people are sending me fucking fake emails, dude. Anyway, he ends up reaching out to me and he's like, yo, this girl, whatever her name was, Talisha or some shit. He's like, she's trying to get in touch with you and sending you emails. I'm like, that shit's real? And he's like, yeah, dude, I submitted you to this TV show. I'm like, all right, cool. So I end up responding and they're like, yeah, we're going to fly you out to LA and you're going to try out. Dude, that was the weirdest fucking experience of my life. They put me in a room with a bunch of fucking like white guys in fucking suits sitting there at a table. They were like, all right, rap.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then I rap for them and then they're like, yeah, you're really good. Like, we'll let you know. I was like, hey, I've been on this job interview before. I was like, I ain't getting this shit. And then they reached out and they're like, yeah, you got picked. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, so like if you have a job, you should probably quit it. So like at the time I did have like a 9 to 5, like driving around doing shit. And so I was like, oh, I gotta go to Atlanta for a few months to go shoot this TV show. And they were like, all right, cool. So then I went out there and then chaos ensued. It was just like
you were still with because you and is her name Mel?
Who's Mel?
Is that your girl?
No, Lisa.
Lisa, my bad, I messed that up.
Yeah, no,
you and your girl been together since like high school, right? Kinda.
There's a lot of breakups and get backs, but yeah, we've been together consistently since like probably right after I did the show.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say
I shot this show in 2017, and I think no, wait. I think I did it in 2016, and it aired in 2017.
Okay, and the show we're talking about is VH1 signed, right?
Correct. Yeah, signed
Yeah.
with Rick Ross and Lenny S and The Dream.
Yeah.
That was a whole conundrum.
So
go ahead.
They send you a plane ticket. You got to go to Atlanta. You're living in Jersey. You had to quit your job because you got to be down there for 3-4 months or whatever. You got to kind of put your life on hold. All right, I'm going out to Jersey. And they put you up in like a condo or something.
They put us all in a hotel.
Okay.
So it was a weird hotel though, because when you walk, it was like a motel, but a hotel. It's really hard to explain. So like, there was like a courtyard, but it was indoors. But there was like a roof, but like when you came out of your room, like a motel, like there was a balcony. But then there was like a courtyard. It was strange, but I guess that's what they do. How they do it in Atlanta, I don't know. So fucking, I get out there and they're like, yeah, like they go and they pick up some other artists from the airport. I get in the van with like these 2 young kids, and at the time I'm 28. I remember them being like, yo, you're like really old for this show. I was like, all right, thanks. But it's crazy because it's 10 years ago that I shot the show. But the only other person on the show that was the same age as me was the girl that ended up like on Love and HipHop. Her name's Just Brittany.
Okay.
So she was like my age, but she was there for like not the same reasons as me, I'll say. I was there to like actually rap and like try to like show skills. No one else there really like, they didn't know who fucking real rappers were and shit. It was weird. It was like I was like their uncle, you know what I mean? Like everybody was like 20.
Right.
I would be like, I remember making this song on the show. Well, it didn't get aired or whatever, but I remember it being during the Trump and Hillary election. And I was like, fuck Trump, fuck Hillary. When I cast my ballot, it's still for Eric B. And then people were like, "Is Eric B like a Jersey native, like a senator or something?" I'm like, "What? Like the Rakim's DJ? What are you talking about?" You know, like it was just fucking. It was crazy. So yeah, they didn't tell us who the judges were going to be, and then they put us in a van, and I didn't know I was the second group of contestants because they brought in a first group of people, and then they eliminated a bunch, and then they were like, and now we're going to bring in the second batch. So then they brought me in with the second batch of people. So like there was already like people like hanging out together and shit. So I come in with this second group of people. They're like, all right, you're gonna, and it's also a TV production. So we're at Quad Studio. So I'm like looking at all the plaques on the wall. It's like all Outkast albums and shit. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
History.
So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna walk up that flight of stairs, and you're gonna walk back down them, and you're gonna walk into that room. Then you're gonna turn around. You're gonna walk back up the stairs, and walk back down, and then when you walk in, go to the mic and do your raps. I was like, cool. I get to the mic and I'm like, and then I see Rick Ross and fucking The Dream, and I didn't know who Lenny S was at the time. I'm like, fuck. So it's funny because in that first song that I performed for them, it comes on, and I usually say, 1, 2, 3, boom, and I go in. And instead I was like, 1, 2, 3, Ren. I don't know why I said that, and it threw my timing off, and I fucked up like 2 bars in.
Oh shit!
And I was like, "Can I run that back?" And they were like, "No." And they were like, "Do your second song." So I do my second song, and they're like, Rick Ross came over the thing, and he was like, "You're mad monotone. I don't like you." And I was like, "All right, cool." So then I was like, "I guess that was it." So then they come back over, like they're just going over the headphones, and he's like, says on your sheet here that you're an undefeated battle rapper. I'm like, yes. And he's like, I don't believe you. I was like, cool. Let's battle.
You said that to Rick Ross.
Yeah, and he was like, I got somebody for you. And I'm like, fuck. They have like Murder Mook or somebody in the fucking building.
Yeah.
So then I come in, they bring down one of the guys that was already on the show. They have me battle him. And that was the first episode I was on. I battled this dude, and they're like, we're going to keep you around and see what you got. And like it turned into like this fuck up in the beginning that they showed that like, because if you paid attention while that show was on, I went from in 10th place in the ranking to I was above at number 1 by 10,000 votes on VH1.com. To be the winner of the show, and then they fucked me because Ross wanted. So it's funny because I don't know if you've seen this guy. He's his name's like Fagiato Foreign.
Oh, the name sounds familiar.
He's a white dude saying the N-word on a song now.
Oh,
and he's like saying it like. In like I mean, there's no tasteful way to say that. So like, he's just saying, but he's saying it obviously to get views.
And
so what's funny is when Ross tried to sign me, he told me you could be like the white me, and I said no. I said I'm a rapper from New Jersey, like I'm a backpack fucking like a lyricist. He was like, nah, we could make you like you the plug, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, bro, no. I'm good. They also, the show wanted me to say I was from Newark because that's the closest city to me.
Sure.
But like, I have friends there. And the people who aren't my friends there are going to be very upset with me.
Yeah.
That I'm representing their city when I'm not from there. So I declined a lot of the stuff on that show. And Ross ended up signing that dude and doing a song with Vanilla Ice with him right after the show. Like, I guess he like saw me and then saw this guy and was like, oh, I'll just like replace what I had envisioned for Ren with this guy. And it just like blew. The song never took off, and then the guy got dropped from Maybach, and now he makes fucking MAGA music with like Tom McDonald and fucking Stitches and all these fucking retards.
That's terrible. That's terrible. They could have fucking capitalized on the golden goose over here. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, their loss.
Amen. Amen. Well, hey, at least you kept your integrity. You didn't fold
Yeah.
for some bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
So after
anything else to ask me about the TV show? Or I can tell you.
After being on the TV show, that had to have kind of, I mean, now a lot of other people saw the skill that you had and shit like that. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and what you bring to the table. Were you able to, were you able to orchestrate any other deals off of that? You know what I mean? Like,
so when Sensi Star, we were signed to Sony through Sensi Star, and I still have a relationship there. But I kind of wanted to like do my own thing after that because I was able to like take all those things that my one sheet looked crazy when I would send it out to like people. I'd be like Sway's top 10 of the year and fucking Team Backpack Champion and did a VH1 reality show, and then like all of a sudden like the touring was like super easy like to put together, and I was getting good bread.
yeah. Plus, you had the EPK and everything for another homie.
yeah. I had all kinds of shit, and then from that point, then COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
That was really like, yeah, it was like the show came out in like 2018, 2017, and then at the end of 2019, it was COVID, and then from that point, it was kind of like trying to figure out what I was gonna do.
Because we came out there and kicked it with you right before COVID.
Right. So I had my own studio out there. I had invested a ton of money in that.
And you had a dope spot.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was and we were having like crazy people come through too. And then we had started a podcast. We were doing like a bunch of shit, and then everything kind of just got flipped upside down with COVID. And then me and my girl got married.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. Had some kids, and then now I'm just starting to kick back up. So it's kind of like I said, like I'm never trying to ask anybody for like a handout or like even like people from the past. So I'm like starting to rebuild again, I would say.
But you dropped
what's up?
I was gonna say you dropped hella fire records along the way. I mean, you had the Yacht Club, Graveyard Shift. Well, Graveyard Shift's new, but you had Yacht Club, you had Lost and Found.
Yeah.
I mean, there was 33. That so in this rebuilding stage, you know what I mean. There was a lot of dope records and EPs. This the joint with I almost said Nems, but it was the hang on.
I do have a joint with Nems, me, him, and Chris Webby, and Anoid and Mickey Fax. It's got like 100 million views.
Is that the one where you guys are at Coney Island?
Yeah.
What is that one called? That one's like Predators or something like that. It's
Apex.
Yeah. No, this one.
Newer joint?
It's the what Lost and Found. That's the joint I got on vinyl.
Oh, with Neff.
Yeah.
So I met Neff through Static Selector.
Okay.
So I was working with Static on some joints, and Neff was like his protege. I didn't even know he made beats and shit. And then one day he was like, had something in his headphones. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? He was like, oh, I'm making beats. And I was like, oh, send me some shit. And he sent me a joint, and I was like, I fell in love with it immediately. And then he became like my road DJ during that time. And then now he's DJ Premier's engineer.
Oh, snap.
And he's also Premier's tour manager. So me and him are working on a part 2 to the EP.
There we go.
Like I got a bunch of shit in the works right now. It's just been hard navigating the new world, I guess, because like from the time like when shit was like super easy to like be lucrative with everything, because it was super lucrative to go do festivals or go do shows and whatever, and then take a little bit of time off, and then everything had changed. All the algorithms had changed. Instagram wasn't the same, so it was like I would start to put stuff out, and then I would see like that there wasn't as much of a reaction, and then I started to be like, "Damn, is the music not as good?" And I'm like, "Nah, the music's just as good as it was. It's just it's not reaching the audience it needs to, or something."
Yeah.
So, and I was like, let me fall back, let me refine everything. Also, at some point, everybody started making the same beats. Everybody started chasing that upstate New York sound, like that, like Benny Conway,
Griselda.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Which is fire because, like, bro, I've known those dudes since way before a lot of people did. You know what I mean? And they were like friends. Like, I mean, not friends, but like I had their phone numbers and like used to reach out to West Side Gun and say Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
shit like that. I was on their hoodie family and friends list and shit. So yeah, it's weird. Like everybody started producing that kind of sound, and I don't know. I got kind of like bored with that. Then I started producing myself, and then I got a whole bunch of shit in the works now. I got this dude Damon Flores. Me and him are dropping a whole album together. Yeah,
we
and
got the exclusives.
yeah, I got a bunch of new music coming out. I'm just like trying to figure out how to release it.
Okay. Well, shit. If you end up setting up a tour, let me know. We'll try and get you a date here in Des Moines, man. We could definitely. You can come and stay at the crib with me and the
Hell yeah,
wife. Yeah.
I
And
would love that.
yeah, bro. I got a 6'4". We can get the 6'4" out and hit the city,
Fuck yeah,
and we use it for a
shoot video.
video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
100%. So
yeah.
I got a couple little pit bulls.
All right, yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy crazy experience for me. You know, coming from like recording in my fucking cousin's basement, and then like I don't know, there's like all the crazy shit that's happened since is like it's like a dream come true. So I can't ever be mad if this was my career, but like I feel like since I've been like 35, something like that. I'm 38 now. Every few months, I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe I'll just go produce.
the
Maybe
the
I'll try
beats
to
you
find.
sent me, the beats you sent me are fire as fuck.
Thank you.
Yeah, props
Like
on that.
maybe
But
I'll go find some young cats to rap on my beats and try to like teach them the game or something. And then I'm like, nah, I got too much more to say.
yes,
You know what I mean? And like, there's so much that I haven't said, so I'm like, God, I just got to keep going.
yeah,
And then
bro.
as soon as I do that, opportunities start to pick up again and shit. And it's like, I don't know.
When I hear the new music, like I was flipping through the catalog today just to make sure I was kind of fresh and
Yeah.
whatnot. I played the Graveyard Shift joint. I was that one's hard as fuck. I'm homies with AFRO.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a track for me that was supposed to be on the album that you did,
Okay.
but we ended up it's on Back to Bars Volume 2. And so that hasn't even come out yet. So I got a joint with him that's still gonna come out. But yeah, bro, like when I hear new shit from you, I'm just like, this motherfucker's still killing it.
Yeah. I mean, this new project, it's still untitled. Because I'm trying to figure out what I want to call it, but it's like literally the best I've ever rapped.
That's
Like,
dope.
and I'm going into it like I just want to show people how well I can actually rap and not worry about like because I've always been like, all right, I'm gonna do bars on most of the records, but I'm always keep like a couple of joints that could like go to because I come from that era. Like you're trying to get on the radio, you know what I mean? Even though now everything's different. That's the thing is like the world is changing so crazily around us.
The
That
way
it's like
people consume music is different now,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's why I'm still like my wife will be like, "Yo, why are you even putting an album out? Why don't you just put singles out?" And I'm like, that doesn't feel like the thing to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I've even
Dropping
heard
singles is okay, but like, I would rather like, I want a body of work. I want like, I don't know.
I mean, if you look at the way RJ Payne is dropping stuff right now, he's doing that 60-second joint, no hook, and he just murders the verse and then on to the next one. Boom, let's keep it going.
I know. I just talked to him a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. That's my guy. We've been good friends for a while. Actually, I gotta join. I gotta record this weekend with Royce, and I'm excited about that. Like I said,
Royce the 5'9"?
Yeah, as soon as I dip my feet back in, things just kind of start happening. So,
fuck a foot, bro. Put both them bitches in that motherfucker.
I know I'm trying to. It's been like a struggle with like raising children and trying to be like a present parent.
For sure.
Do all that shit too and be like a good fucking husband. You know what I mean? Like all the shit that I don't rap about.
Yeah.
And like maintaining a home and all that kind of shit and like figuring out the aspects of life that I didn't think about when I was fucking 26 and running around doing television shows and fucking shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, just trying to maintain.
I totally get it. My kids are older now. My son's 15 and my daughter's 18 at first year in university. But I remember those days. You know what I mean? When you got little ones and you can't just and it kind of switches your 100% switches your focus, but also the shit you're talking about a little bit too. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm still talking crazy shit because that's what I did live it. So like, I mean, I can still talk about it. So it might just not be at the present.
Yeah,
but, yeah. I mean, it's the best thing in the world I ever did was have a family and have children and all that. So I'm very happy about that. But,
hell yeah.
Music is still right here. So I gotta keep putting shit out.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if we put together a book of just those tales that you told, you know what I mean, newspaper clippings and you know, I mean, look, you have lived a phenomenal fucking musical career already, bro. Like, but that's just the first book. You got a whole nother book coming, homie.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel.
I see.
There's also so many things I went to when Nas opened his first restaurant in fucking Queens. I was there. Like, I've like worn all Slick Rick's jewelry around New York one night. Like, bro, like there's so many fucking things that I've done that like. Sometimes when I talk to people who like aren't involved in music or don't know anything about me, I feel that they feel I'm lying when I'm telling them stories. I don't know. It was like every night was like almost a fucking movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was with Prodigy the night or 2 nights before he died.
Damn.
Yeah, in an elevator at BB King's for a Cool G rap show.
That's wild, bro.
I've smoked a blunt on stage with fucking with Bone Thugs and Harmony while they were performing fucking First in the Month. Like, it's like all these things that have happened. They're like just a dream.
The epic intertwinings of careers.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Hell yeah. Well, I know it's super late your time and you probably got shit to do tomorrow, but hey, man, we definitely got to get you on for a second episode. This was epic, bro. I mean,
hell yeah.
Yeah, you're my homie. I love to hear these. I love to hear these tales, man. And we didn't even tap in on all the shit we did together with Get Down and the shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I definitely got to get you on again.
We could do that anytime you want me to come back on. But yeah, I'm 100% down, and let's do some more music together. And fucking, I'm gonna send you some of my my newer shit.
Okay.
Let you keep it. It's very, very. So the project I'm doing with Damon Flores, he's from the Netherlands. And he's like, he sent me a beat and I rapped on it. I think he had purchased a feature, And then he sent me the record back, and I was like, "You have any more beats?" And he was like, "Yeah, but like I'm not looking for any more features." And I was like, "Nah, like just send me some beats." And he sent me the beats, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do a project together." Like we split everything 50-50, all that, whatever. And I think we're gonna actually end up putting that song that we did that I featured on there too, because it's just fucking his production with me on it is just like it's fucking crazy. He's got like this like super bass heavy fucking boom bap sound that like I've never really experienced before. And
Okay.
all the records are just like fucking me just going crazy. So I'll send some over to you before it comes out and let you check them out and get your input on them and shit.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
shit, I got this new project that I'm producing on myself, and I'd love to get a feature on again. So I'd love to work with you, bro.
100%. 100%.
Hell yeah. All right, homie. Well, hey, thank you so much. Everybody, you guys got to witness Ren Thomas on EmceeTV tonight. Y'all gonna have to tune back in because this is just chapter 1 of a story that is still continuing right now, y'all.
It's like 10 chapters so far. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live. So. But yeah, there's definitely some more chapters to write.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
All love, brother.
Hell yeah, always, bro. Much love back at you. All right, until next time, it's your boy Wilson for EmceeTV.
Ren Thomas.
And we out.
Jersey.
Peace.
Known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé. Don't play with us. Them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, softer than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the caking up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Big balls don't